You don't realize how long you've been asleep until the moment the chill of true awareness breaks the surface. Think back, deep down, to the majority of your existence. For years, perhaps decades, you have been moving through the world, not like a sovereign man, but like a diver, lost in the depths, heavy, slow, and unfocused. Before we dive into the secrets of semen retention power, make sure you subscribe now and join our Telegram family. The link's in the description. Don't miss the exclusive insights and daily motivation that will keep your energy, focus, and discipline unstoppable. Your success journey starts today. You called this living, but it was a muffled, distorted echo of life. A constant struggle against invisible currents you never chose and didn't even recognize. Imagine the subtle, relentless forces that have dictated your every move. Lust pulled you relentlessly this way. A hot, urgent gravity. Distraction yanks you violently that way. 1,000 tiny, glittering hooks in your attention. Every fleeting emotion, every hollow impulse, every sugary temptation didn't just tempt youth, they had a hook in your very back, dragging you through time like an animal tethered to a chain it cannot see. And yet, when you looked around, everyone else seemed to be thrashing in the same currents. So you assumed that this constant restlessness, this perpetual searching, this gnawing, constant hunger, must be normal. But didn't you always feel it? Didn't that quiet, persistent voice deep inside whisper that this frantic, fragmented existence was a betrayal of your true nature? Something in your core knew you were meant for more than this reactive, chaotic dance. You sensed the existence of a deeper version of you, a colder, sharper, more aware presence, a geological layer of self buried beneath the shifting sands of instinct and fleeting desire. This true self is not a weakling or a victim. It is a predator in the shadows, waiting with coiled power, waiting for you to stop scattering the vital energy it needs to rise and finally breathe. This is the man Gurdjieff spoke of when he described the sleeping human. Not inherently weak, not inherently stupid, but simply unconscious. Living in fragments, a puppet pulled by strings he refuses to acknowledge or control. You've been that fragmented man. Look at your life in fractured pieces. One day, you are an iron-willed titan of discipline. The next, you fold instantly to the cheapest temptation. 1 hour, your focus is laser sharp. The next, you are lost in the haze of lust and scrolling. One moment, you feel a surge of genuine power and purpose. The next, you are hollowed out, empty, and regretful. You are not one coherent self. You are a collection of little selves, a chaotic committee fighting savagely over the single steering wheel of your life. And the tragic reason none of them can ever maintain power is simple. None of them have enough energy to stay in control for long. The profound, heartbreaking truth is not that you are weak, but that you leak too much life force to ever hold a stable, coherent identity. You drain your instinct, you diminish your clarity, you extinguish your most precious internal fire. Think of how this precious energy is lost. Through every frantic orgasm, every decision driven by immediate lust, every single moment you surrender to your cheapest, most accessible cravings. You are systematically eroding your own presence, dimming the light of your own vision, and breaking the fine thread of your own intuition. You are a fortress with all its gates left open, the vital lifeblood pouring out, leaving the garrison exhausted and defenseless. The question, then, is what explosive, radical act can possibly jolt you out of this energetic hemorrhage and force the true self to take the throne? What is the shock that can finally and irrevocably wake you up? The alchemy of retention, fueling the fire within. The answer is a discipline so ancient, so powerful, and so universally misunderstood that its mere mention carries a dangerous magnetic charge. Semen retention. It is the absolute, non-negotiable shock that slams you awake not just spiritually, but biologically, energetically, and psychologically. It is the moment you courageously deny the machine of impulse its favorite, most comforting drug. It is the act of stripping away the one pervasive habit that has kept you perpetually unconscious, drowsy, and docile. The immediate, visceral changes are undeniable. Suddenly, the deep, paralyzing fog that used to cloud your mind after release is gone. Suddenly, your nervous system is no longer anesthetized, numbed into submission. Suddenly, the emotional, turbulent currents that used to drag you like a leash have gone slack. You begin, truly begin, to feel the weight of your own life again, a substantial, solid presence you forgot existed. You start noticing the things you used to coast past because you were always scrambling for the next short-lived dopamine hit. You feel the tension rising and falling like a tide in your own body. You begin to sense people's intentions before they even form the words. You catch the subtle tone shifts in conversations that betray the speaker's true feelings. You begin to read silence as a language. You start operating with an awareness that feels almost supernatural at first, only because you have never actually lived with your full, magnificent perception switched on. Retention forces clarity. It demands presence. It compels you to stand naked and confront your real self without the luxurious, comforting buffer of lust and subsequent exhaustion. That incredible, volatile sexual energy you have been carelessly giving away like loose change in the street. That is the exact same, exquisite energy required to gather all your scattered, fighting little selves and unify them into one coherent, singular identity. Gurdjieff taught that achieving higher states of awareness is not a matter of sheer motivation or forced positivity. He meant something far more tangible: raw biological power. This is the internal fuel your body reserves and uses to build consciousness. Iron-hard discipline, acute intuition, and an unbreakable will. That fuel, in its highest, most potent form, is sexual energy. When you retain this fuel, you instantly stop existing on your lowest, most reactive frequencies. You pull your mind out of perpetual survival mode. You shift decisively from being governed by reactive instincts to being held steady by a deep, composed awareness. Your attention span strengthens like a muscle. Your memory sharpens, and the internal noise, the incessant, chaotic chatter begins to quiet. Underneath all the chaos that used to run your life, you finally hear a voice you haven't truly heard in years. Your own mind, speaking clearly, with authority. The fire of the fourth way. Mastery in the midst of chaos. This is the birth of the predator's intuition. It is not mystical or magical. It is simply instinct, finally restored and running on a full power supply. When your energy stops leaking, your most primal awareness snaps back online. Your senses sharpen to a fine point. Your timing becomes impeccable. You cease hesitating because your nervous system is no longer overstimulated and utterly drained. You begin to feel situations just before they unfold. You anticipate the next moves of the people around you without needing to consciously analyze them. You detect the subtle, brief shift in a woman's eyes when she is attracted. You sense the shaky insecurity in the posture and voice of a man pretending to be confident. You smell tension in the air before a conflict even appears. You feel the deep emotional temperature of a room the instant you step into it. This is not spiritual enlightenment. This is simply what a man feels like when his magnificent instincts are not utterly drowned in a daily deluge of dopamine and sexual exhaustion. You were never lazy. You were hijacked. Every single scroll, every single cheap thrill was meticulously designed to keep you docile, distracted, and addicted, a state of perpetual dopamine warfare. Reclaiming your mind isn't merely about quitting pornography or deleting apps. It is about seizing back command of your entire nervous system, your sovereign focus, and your internal fire. This, the script declares, is the first critical stage of the fourth way, the awakening of the real I, the single, unified self that emerges only when all the false, fragmented selves stop fighting over your vital energy. Retention gives that I the sheer strength to rise. It pulls you from the long sleep into full, bright awareness. It strips away the crippling noise and reveals the essential man underneath. The forge of self-remembering, the immovable man. You do not become someone new. You become the man you were always supposed to be before weakness, distraction, and lust diluted your core essence. When the real I awakens, it doesn't whisper. It stands up and takes the throne. It looks at the world with cold, unclouded certainty, and it finally states, "This is my life now. I decide everything from here." The modern world tries to convince you that the only way to gain self-control is to escape it, to run to the mountains, shave your head, and disappear into some monastery, requiring total silence, total isolation, and total abstinence. But you already know the truth in your very bones. A man isn't forged in a cave. He is forged in the fire. He is forged in temptation, in noise, in pressure, and in chaos. This is the very essence of the fourth way, not hiding from the world, but mastering yourself in the thick of it. Retention is its modern embodiment. You are not locked away. You are walking through the same tempting, distracting, noisy world as everyone else. You are scrolling past temptation. You are surrounded by lust. You are in rooms full of stress and chaos. You do not escape the triggers. You deliberately stand in front of them and command yourself not to break. That is real discipline that is internal, not dependent on a perfect, isolated environment. The traditional paths, fakir monk, yogi, all require extremes and withdrawal. But walking this path, you have no escape. You must function in the real world, handling responsibility, bills, pressure, temptation, and stress, all while rigorously disciplining the very energy that destroys other men. That is why the fourth way is rare. It demands strength while still living among the things that weaken most people. Retention is friction. It is acute discomfort. It is temptation staring you in the eye every single day, and you refusing to blink first. It is the emotional turbulence you feel on day 7 or day 14, when your mind whispers, just release once, nobody will know. This internal battle, the tension, the cravings, the emotional spikes, and dips is the battlefield. And unlike the monk, you do not run. You walk straight into the center and fight. This friction strengthens your will. This intentional suffering sharpens your awareness. This is where your discipline stops being abstract theory and hardens into instinct. As the weeks unfold, the world loses its desperate grip on you. The triggers that used to pull you like a puppet string finally lose their power. A beautiful woman passes by. You notice, but you do not bend. Stress hits you. You feel it, but you do not collapse. Someone disrespects you. Your blood warms, but it does not boil over. This is the predator's emotional stillness, a profound calm that comes not from suppression, but from absolute control. You are not trying to avoid emotion, you are mastering the ground beneath it. Your internal state becomes your choice, not a predictable reaction. You become the calmest person in the room, not because you lack fire, but because the fire is contained, focused, and not leaking wildly everywhere. The gravity of sovereignty, a different class of man. This is the core of Gurdjieff's teaching. Self-remembering, the ability to be aware of yourself while actively moving through the world. Most men forget themselves, the instant temptation strikes, reverting to reacting animals. But you begin to catch yourself before the fall. You feel the urge, and instead of letting it drag you, you observe it like a scientist studying a flame. You feel the lust, and instead of drowning, you immediately redirect it into clarity, decisive action, profound presence, and focused ambition. You are not suppressing desire, you are converting it. The point of retention is transformation. It is taking the same energy that once controlled and weakened you and using it to systematically build the man you are meant to be. Lust becomes vision. Anger becomes purpose. Impulse becomes intuition. Sensitivity becomes awareness. The unstated part of this journey is that mastery never happens when everything is peaceful. It happens when everything is intensely testing you. The moment you walk through temptation without bowing, something inside you locks permanently into place. The moment you feel the urge and choose direction over desire, your self-respect hardens like crystal. This is the man you become, one who can walk through lust without losing himself, enter tension without collapsing, and sit with discomfort without desperately escaping. A man who can feel powerful emotions without being enslaved by them. A man who grows stronger not by avoiding the world, but by conquering himself in the midst of it. That level of control is rare. That ability to stay conscious in the fire is rare. And that is precisely why men who walk this forth, men who retain, refine, and self-remember eventually rise into a different class. A higher tier, a colder, more sovereign state of being. This is the predator's radar. You walk into a room, and the air speaks to you. The silence has weight. The tension has texture. You feel micro-shifts in energy. You sense the difference between true confidence and mere performance. You notice who is genuinely secure and who is simply acting. You detect dishonesty in tone and insecurity in the way someone talks too loud. You are no longer paranoid. You are perceptive. You are not on edge. You are deeply attuned. You stop trying to analyze everything. You just know. That is the difference between prey and predator. Prey needs to think. The predator simply feels. Prey hopes nothing goes wrong. The predator senses precisely when something is about to. Prey searches for safety. The predator looks for advantage. You are not just becoming stronger. You are becoming sharper because your awareness shifts, your presence changes. You stop broadcasting insecurity because you are no longer fighting yourself inside. You stop desperately over-explaining because you have nothing left to prove. You stop seeking external validation because your internal energy is overflowing. You stop moving with desperation because you are no longer chasing dopamine. You are walking in purpose. People sense this before you ever open your mouth. Women feel it as a warmth in their stomach. Men feel it as an undeniable, respectful pressure in their chest. You are a man who has mastered his impulses, who is not ruled by lust, and who is not leaking power. This is masculine magnetism. It's not a trick. It's gravity, the silent, powerful pull of a man whose energy moves inward and radiates outward. TheWarriors.com follows a stillness that emerges when desire no longer drags you. You don't get irritated easily. You don't let people pull you into their emotional storms. You don't chase arguments. Your mind is steady, like a man who has nothing to hide from himself. Your reactions slow down. Your judgments sharpen. You become patient, measured, and strategic. When pressure comes, you calculate. When insult comes, you analyze. When opportunity comes, you move without hesitation. This is a state of self-remembering. You never lose yourself inside the moment. You observe the world from a stable, immovable center, aware of both what is happening around you and what is happening inside you. This double attention is the hallmark of dangerous, effective men, the ones who never act unconsciously. The crystallization, the sovereign default. As your awareness stabilizes, your identity achieves crystallization. The real I becomes your permanent, unwavering default. It is not something you have to summon or search for. It is your center of gravity. Retention provides the energy for this crystallization, and the friction of temptation provides the pressure to strengthen it. Eventually, you become the version of yourself that cannot be moved. Lust doesn't control you. Emotion doesn't sabotage you. Fear doesn't shrink you. Impulse doesn't override you. You become a man who no longer collapses under his own desires, but harnesses them. You redirect the instinct that used to weaken you into the awareness that now guides you. You see everything. You sense everything. And you choose your actions with the calm, precise certainty of a man who has mastered himself at the very root. If this video gave you real value, tap the thanks button. Your support helps me keep creating deeper content like this. Every thanks is a spark that keeps this mission alive. Your support means more than you know. You do not become invincible. You become immovable. You do not become perfect. You become present. You do not become a saint. You become sovereign. This is the man the world rarely produces anymore. This is the man retention builds. This is the man the fourth way awakens. This is the man the predator's intuition belongs to. This is the final, profound truth. We are all Ds in the alchemy of lust, and only by refusing the drain can we claim the extraordinary power we were always meant to possess.